Hello and welcome to the Wrath launch day. I first wanted to start off by saying thank you for all the support that you guys gave me on that last video. I really wasn't expecting it to blow up the way it did, so thank you. And with all that support that you guys gave me, the handsome man on the Blizzard launcher decided to address the situation by doubling down and posting the original gangster video from Supremes. But if you guys are looking for original content and not original gangsters for Wrath of the Lich King, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll show you how to solo dungeons, heroics, and do world bosses in future videos. So now that the annoyance is out of the way, a lot of you guys are asking, what dungeon should I do at what level, and how do I know when to stop grinding that dungeon? So hopefully this video will help you out. I will quickly say though that Wrath is a very casual expansion, and there is no right or wrong way to level. So if you find questing, or grinding, or doing dungeons fun, then level the way that's going to make you the happiest. So the first dungeon that I'll be doing is one that you guys should be familiar with because I already did a whole video on it for about 1.2 million XP per hour. But in case you didn't see that, then this is Mana Tombs. Now, I know the observant of you are going to go, but Tikan, this is only showing 1 million XP per hour. You said 1.2. This is clickbait. And you wouldn't be wrong, except this is just one of my test clips that I was showing because there were a lot of comments on the last video asking how to reset the second boss. So if you missed that, what we're going to do is pop our Icebound Fortitude, run through the second boss, through the hallway, into the next room, into the pack on the left. And again, we're going to want to make sure that the boss doesn't get hit with anything or else he'll stay aggroed to you, and he should reset when you run into that second pack. So I plan on doing Mana Tombs until about level 72 or 73, and overall what I really like about this dungeon is the mobs are super easy to kill, they don't do anything special, they can be chain pulled together, and then the run in itself takes about 13 minutes to do, and once you get to the end, you just run past the last boss, out the door, reset it, and then you're back at the start again to keep going. Once we reach level 72 or 73, the next stop for us is going to be Sethekk Halls, which is about a 800k per hour XP farm. Now, I think a lot of people are going to be starting this one at level 70, which you can, but the reason why I wanted to wait is because the packs are a little bit more complicated in this instance, and the mobs do more. So the first mob to be aware of is the Time Loss Controller. Now, these guys need to be nuked because they drop a totem which mind controls you and essentially turns you into potato like you can see here. The second mob that we're going to want to be careful of is the Oracles. Now, they're not that dangerous, but their chain lightning silences you for 3 seconds, so you can't use any abilities like Pestilence. The third mob to be aware of are the Prophets. These guys fear you, and it could create some dangerous situations where if you get feared into other packs and pull extra mobs, you do run the risk of dying. Last but certainly not least is the Talon Lords. These guys will stun you for 3 seconds, and usually if you're pulling them with a Prophet, that means you can get chain feared right after. Overall, Sethekk Halls is about an 800,000 XP per hour farm, and it's a pretty easy dungeon just as long as you know the kill order of mobs and the abilities that they do. Now, when you get to the end of the dungeon, the only way out is to either kill the last boss or to log out and reset with an ult. Another thing to note is you can do this dungeon all the way up to level 76, but keep in mind once you hit level 76, the mobs will become gray and you won't get XP anymore. Now, for the third instance, we do have a couple of different options at our disposal. The first one is Shadow Labs, which I'm not really a fan of because the mobs can run away from you and heal, and then the second one is Botanica. Now, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I like the Botanica, because I don't. I do think a lot of these mobs here do a lot of magic damage and are also a nuisance to deal with, but they don't run away from you, so I think that's just a big added bonus. So if we were to do this at level 70, we'd be getting about 900,000 experience per hour, but because we are such a higher level, we only get about 70% of that XP, but we are killing it a little bit faster, so we get about 750,000 experience per hour. Now, the only great thing that I can really say about this instance is we only need to do it for 1 level. Other than that, I don't really have anything positive to say about this instance. I don't really like the Botanica, hence why I'm not doing it at level 70. Once we hit 77, we can head back to Dalaran and pick up our cold weather flying, and then we'll head over to Icecrown. And this next farm is actually going to be an open world farm. Now, I know in the video I said dungeon farming, and you could go to Ankahet and probably give this farm a good run for its money, but for myself, I found this to be easier. This is a pretty well-known farm that yields about 700 to 800,000 experience per hour, and the spec that I'm playing on my Death Knight is Unholy, and the reason for this is because of Corpse Explosion and the AoE. The priority is to kill the big banner guy first, and we're going to do this by getting diseases on the target, then spreading pestilence, dropping death and decay for all the AoE, then using death strike to keep ourselves healed, and then when that mob dies, we're going to use corpse explosion, and we're going to keep doing this until all the mobs are dead. For talents and glyphs on this farm, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out, but the major glyphs that we're using are Glyph of Disease to keep the diseases up on the target, and Glyph of Death and Decay for more damage on our Death and Decay. What makes this farm great is just how large the area is and the sheer quantity of mobs that are within it. And as you can see, it only takes about 45 seconds to kill a pack, and within a minute we're ready to go for the next one. Well, that's going to about do it for me. If you enjoyed the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next video.